If you think Donald Trump's the greatest president ever, smash the heart. The United Kingdom loves him too. Watch this right here.
Let's get right to Gabe Gutierrez, who is on the ground ahead of the president's arrival to the G7 summit overseas. Gabe, you heard Keir mention the signing. Any chance the president extends his overseas trip to be there for it?
Well, Hallie, it's possible. At least that's according to Vice President J.D. Vance, who just told Fox News that logistics are still being worked out. Now, the vice president says he plans to be there. Still, Vance cautions that it might take a few days for this new ceasefire to take hold. There has been, of course, plenty of tension between President Trump and European allies over their reluctance to get involved in the Iran conflict. Now, the high-stakes G7 summit is set to take place just across the border in Evian, France. Tonight, thousands of protesters took to the streets here in Switzerland, some clashing with police. It's just after
Look at this right here. Thousands of people in Switzerland, of all places, taking to the streets. You know when the Swiss are protesting something has gone terribly wrong? These are people who are known for being neutral in literally everything, including world wars. And now they're out here clashing with police because of American politics. This is what happens when you elect someone who treats international diplomacy like a reality TV show. The whole world is watching, and they are not impressed. But hey, at least we're making America great again, right? By making every other country hate us.
Midnight here, Hallie, and President Trump is set to arrive at the G7 later today.
Look at all these people. They love me here in the UK. They love me.
Donald Trump, you can't hide!
We charge you with genocide. Donald Trump's not welcome here.
So we are here because we are defending a world that is more small, where we are just taking care of each other and more equality between people, because we think that we don't have to negotiate with this man who is just thinking about his own interests. I think if there is some problem here, it's also because the way they are treating that.
Tusentals människor har samlats här i Genève för att protestera mot G7-mötet som hålls måndag till onsdag i Evian här på andra sidan Genève-sjön. Där får man inte demonstrera, hela den lilla småstaden är belägrad av polis och militär. Men här i...
Listen to what this protester is saying. He's talking about how they don't have to negotiate with someone only thinking about their own interest. And that's the thing that MAGA folks don't understand about international relations. You can't just bully your way through diplomacy the same way you bully people on Twitter. These European countries have options. They don't need American tourists. They don't need American business the way some people think they do. When you walk around acting like the world owes you something, eventually the world says, nah, we're good. The entitlement is absolutely wild.
I Genève har alltså då en rad olika grupper i en koalition samlats under det gemensamma slagordet Nej till G7. Det finns en viss oro för våldsamheter i den här demonstrationen, för att 2003 när det hölls ett G8-möte i Evian så blev det stora kravaller här i Genève. Och en del av dem jag har pratat med här tror att det faktiskt kan bli någon typ av våldsamheter. En del är maskerade, svartklädda. Andra däremot är helt emot att använda våld som politisk metod.
La violence, en fin de compte, ça va rien changer. Pour moi, c'est des gens encore plus stupides que le reste.
We should not be allowing Mr. Trump into Scotland at all. There is nothing good or decent about Donald Trump.
The world's almost in an abusive relationship with him. You can't actually tell him what's wrong because he gets his knickers in a twist. He gets very upset if any.
Did you hear what this Scottish man just said? He called it an abusive relationship. And honestly, that's probably the most accurate description I've heard. He's saying you can't even tell Trump what's wrong because he just twists everything. The narcissism is so obvious that people in other countries can see it clear as day. But somehow millions of Americans are still like, nah, he's just telling it like it is, bro. He's not telling it like it is. He's telling it like he wants it to be. There's a massive difference, and the whole world sees through it except the people who need to see it most.
One calls him anything he can't imagine that anyone would like him and love him. And actually, he's a narcissist. He's just everything that's bad about the world. He's greedy, he lies, he cheats. He's got known associations with sex offenders and people traffickers. None of that is good.
I oppose everything that Donald Trump stands for. I stand with women's rights, I stand with trans rights, I stand with the Palestinian people, and I stand with the people of Scotland when I say that we should not be indulging this beast of a man.
I'm not sure I know what things look like in the capital of Albania on a normal Monday, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't usually look like this. Thousands of people gathered outside the Parliament building in the Albanian capital. This is the 8th consecutive day of huge protests in this country against the corruption of Donald Trump and his family. Wow. For over a week, demonstrators have been gathering in massive numbers to protest a real estate project that's planned by Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner's private equity firm, which is mostly funded by the Saudi government, they plan to build a resort on the site of a national treasure ecological preserve in Albania. And it turns out the Albanian people...
So let me get this straight. Jared Kushner's private equity firm funded by the Saudis is trying to build a resort on a protected ecological preserve in Albania. And the Albanian people are like, absolutely not. We're not doing this. This is what happens when you let grifters run your foreign policy. They're not thinking about America's interests. They're thinking about their own pockets. The Flamingo Revolution is literally happening because of Trump family corruption. And these MAGA supporters still out here talking about draining the swamp when the swamp has a Kushner-branded hotel on it.
People feel quite protective of that. These protests started when barbed wire fences first started going up at the development site, cutting off public access to the local beaches. Then crowds started gathering at the coast, including using their bodies to spell out their protest about saving this ecological site. Protests in the capital city have been filled with images of flamingos because, among the other things that Jared's project threatens, it threatens flamingo habitat. So all the flamingos at the protest have got some people calling this the Flamingo Revolution, and oh my God, am I down with that? And you might not think a protected ecological preserve and its flamingos would be the spark for a political revolution, but these protests are really about corruption, and they might turn out the government of Albania. The people of Albania want to know why their prime minister appears to be selling off their most beautiful coastline to the son-in-law of the American president and his Saudi investors.
It's our country. I don't want it to be sold to somebody else. It's dirty money. They discovered this island. What do you mean? It's been discovered. It's ours. It's bullcrap, honestly.
Albania's Special Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office has now opened an investigation into this development. The European Union is now warning that if the country moves forward with Jared's project, it could put Albania's application to join the EU in jeopardy. I mean, if the protesters...
The European Union is now warning Albania that if they move forward with this Kushner project, it could jeopardize their entire EU membership application. Think about that for a second. One Trump family real estate deal could derail an entire country's future. This is what corruption looks like on an international scale. But MAGA supporters will tell you with a straight face that Trump is fighting for the little guy. Meanwhile, his son-in-law is literally threatening the future of small European nations. The cognitive dissonance required to support this is actually impressive.
You're right. If Albania's prime minister has done this to try to curry favor with Donald Trump by pushing through Trump's son-in-law's real estate project, I mean, he would have good reason to think that would work.
More than 1,000 people took part in an anti-World Economic Forum protest in the Swiss city of Zurich on Monday night. Many were seen brandishing placards criticising US President Donald Trump. A broad coalition of left-wing organisations called for a demonstration against the US president on the opening day of the World Economic Forum. A heavy police presence was deployed to control the area where the demonstration took place. French President Emmanuel Macron and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen are due to address the event today. President Donald Trump is due to attend the World Economic Forum on Wednesday.
1,000 people protesting in Zurich on the opening day of the World Economic Forum, heavy police presence deployed, left-wing organizations calling for demonstrations, and Trump hasn't even arrived yet. That's how much people dislike this man internationally. You know what's funny is MAGA folks think the whole world loves Trump. They really believe that other countries are just jealous of American greatness. Nah, bro, they're not jealous. They're genuinely concerned. When your arrival requires heavy police presence in one of the safest countries on earth, you might be the problem.
Oh no, it's being directed at me, bro. I'm getting a sweaty word now. Oh.
12 countries are banned. They face a full suspension of travel to the United States, and then 7 countries have a partial ban. The full suspension applies to nationals from Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, the Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. Partial ban applies to Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. Who does this not apply to? It does not apply to green card holders, lawful permanent residents. Dual citizens are also not impacted by this. So if you're a national from a country that is not subjected to one of these bans, then you can travel on that other passport and gain entry into the United States. Diplomats are not impacted.
She just listed out all these countries that are fully suspended from traveling to the United States. Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, Congo, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Yemen, and then a partial ban on even more countries. Now look, I understand border security is important, but here's what MAGA folks don't think about. When you ban entire nations, you're not just keeping out bad actors. You're keeping out doctors, engineers, students, families trying to reunite. You're telling the world that America is closed for business, and eventually that comes back to bite you.
Impacted by this, athletes, particularly those who...
Here's the deal. Safety is my #1 concern.
I ain't never broke a law in my life.
I understand.
And I fly my Sky Priority, and I fly Delta. I wouldn't fly nothing else.
I hope you...
I haven't said nothing to nobody, haven't touched nobody.
Let me explain. Okay. I hope you write this up. I do.
You what?
I hope you write this whole thing up, okay, what happened. Because Delta
believe me, I'm videoing it.
No, I don't.
Oh, no, I can video, but I'm being questioned here in front of people, but...
Okay, you and I are going to stop this.
Is this a Delta going to take me off the plane because of my hat?
Not because of your hat. It's because you're not complying with the instructions.
What's there to comply with?
My flight crew is in charge of safety.
Okay, and I'm not... And I'm doing something wrong? I've never done nothing wrong. Why?
No. If you can't comply with the simple instruction of removing the hat...
The lady next to me asked to take a picture of me, so I put it back on. She was taking pictures for her daughter, and the next thing you know, they come right back over there again.
I don't know all the specifics. I'm just saying, I'm giving you the option, okay? Either you keep the hat off and you follow the instructions...
This is absolutely wild. They're kicking someone off a flight over a hat. He's talking about safety being his #1 concern, and he's never broken a law in his life, and now he's getting removed from a Delta flight because of a political accessory. Look, I don't care what your politics are. This is getting ridiculous, but here's the thing. This is the energy your side brought to everything. You wanted strict enforcement, zero tolerance, no exceptions. Well, congratulations, now it's being applied to you, and suddenly it's a problem.
Instructions of the flight attendants, because in the case of an emergency, how do I know, based on this simple little issue, that you would follow their instructions in an emergency?
My husband was not on that flight, even though we were ensured that he was going to be on that flight.
This lady is a prominent MAGA supporter. And while the situation with her husband being detained by ICE is awful, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody, this is actually what she wanted. She just didn't think it would ever happen to her. You see, she supports an administration that aggressively deregulated the USA, throwing out and destroying all sorts of regulations, protections, and oversights, essentially tearing out the insulation in the load-bearing walls of the USA, a result of which is institutions like ICE are basically a law unto themselves. They are their own judge, jury, and executioner, and could do whatever the fuck they want in deeply inconsistent and inhumane ways. And if, as they are, as she claims, holding her husband out of spite because she's making a lot of noise in public, the only reason they can do that is because of the aggressive deregulation that she supported. And
this is the part that kills me about these stories. She's saying her husband is being held by ICE out of spite because she's making noise, and the only reason they can do that is because of the deregulation she supported. This woman is a prominent MAGA supporter who wanted ICE to have unlimited power. She wanted them to be their own judge, jury, and executioner. And now that same power is being used against her family, she's crying foul. You don't get to build a weapon and then complain when it's pointed at you.
Again, what she's going through is horrible, but all of her content is about the specific things that they have promised that they're not doing, about the situation with her and her husband and how it's unjust. And she's grifting for people's money and sympathy and support when she and probably her husband are ultra-conservatives who supported this.
Última hora, mujer expulsada de un vuelo tras negarse a sentarse junto a un joven con gorra MAGA. Les dejaré al final un video de un episodio insólito que ocurrió a bordo de un avión en los Estados Unidos cuando una pasajera se negó rotundamente a ocupar su asiento al descubrir que el joven a su lado llevaba puesta una gorra MAGA. La situación, que comenzó con un simple rechazo, terminó convirtiéndose en un espectáculo que retrasó la salida del vuelo. Según los testigos, la mujer insistía en que no se sentaría al lado de alguien que apoyara a Donald Trump, argumentando que esa postura política atentaba contra sus derechos como mujer. Él está votando para quitarme mis derechos, exclamó en voz alta mientras señalaba la gorra del joven. El pasajero afectado, sorprendido por la reacción, respondió que tenía derecho a usar cualquier prenda y que había pagado su asiento igual que los demás. La tripulación intervino.
So this woman on the plane is literally assaulting someone over a MAGA hat, saying it's against her rights as a woman, demanding they be removed. The flight attendant had to intervene multiple times, and she kept screaming, "Look, I don't agree with the politics, but you can't just attack people on airplanes. This is what happens when political identity becomes your entire personality." Both sides got people who can't just exist in public without making everything political. Maybe, just maybe, we could all fly on a plane without it turning into a WWE match.
En varias ocasiones para intentar calmar a la mujer, pero esta continuó gritando que se sentía incómoda y asegurando que nadie en el avión lo quería allí.
American travelers, watch this video so you don't get turned away at the UK border. If you're new here, my name's Taylor. I'm your travel tips bestie. Follow so you can travel smarter, not pricier. As of January 2025, you now have to apply for an ETA to visit the UK. It's not a visa, it's a quick electronic travel authorization, but it's 100% required. And you ask, why now? Well, the US has been doing this for years, so the UK's finally returning the favor. It costs $22 US, it's valid for 2 years, and yes, even babies and toddlers need one. You can apply through the official UK ETA app or the website. I recommend the app. It's very quick and very easy. I used the app in May and mine was approved in under 10 minutes, but don't risk waiting. Most applications take about 3 business days to process. Be careful not to overpay. Anything more than $22 is likely a scam. Always use the official UK government app or website. Save this for later so you don't forget, and follow for more travel tips to keep your next trip smooth and stress-free.
Just in case no one's told you today, it is literally now or never, by the way. The United Kingdom have now...
So now you need an ETA just to visit the UK. It costs $22, and even babies need one. She's saying the US has been doing this for years, so the UK is returning the favor. And look, this is just the beginning of the consequences. For years, America has treated international visitors like potential criminals, made them go through invasive screenings, asked them a million questions, and now other countries are saying, okay, cool, we can play that game too. The chickens are coming home to roost, and MAGA supporters are shocked.
Officially warned their citizens, have warned us to not travel to the United States, and if we do, to be prepared of the heightened risk posed by the border and the new Trump administration. Historically, this has never been done by the United Kingdom and the United States, besides literally during 9/11 and the previous world wars. This is, of course, days after British, German, and other European tourists have also been detained for days, weeks at a time at the border. This is, of course, weeks after Trump has basically appeased Putin and has agreed to be a bystander to the invasion of Ukraine and practically any other European country that Putin has his eyes set on. I absolutely hate saying this as your friend from across the pond, but there's going to be a point where we are not going to have any international influence to help you guys because Trump is literally making that quite literally impossible. He's isolating America. How does nobody see that? To the extent that they will confiscate your phone at the border, and if you have anything that is negative towards Trump, they will literally ban you from the USA. So if you're an American watching, you really have to have the fight in your belly right now because it is truly now or never. I literally cannot say that any louder.
76 countries.
The United Kingdom has officially warned their citizens not to travel to the United States. This has never been done except during 9/11 and world wars. Let that sink in for a second. Our closest ally is telling their people America is dangerous. British and German tourists are being detained for days at the border. And she's absolutely right. Trump is isolating America from the entire world. He's burning bridges with every ally we have while cozying up to dictators. And somehow MAGA folks think this makes us stronger when it literally makes us weaker.
Just got banned from coming into the United States. Out of all these countries, how many do you think are playing in the World Cup? This sock puppet, the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, froze all foreign visa processing indefinitely. And we have a tournament in a couple of months where the whole world comes to the host country to cheer on their team. And in this list, there's a couple of countries that are qualified for the World Cup. Here's the list. Iran, Uzbekistan, Egypt, Algeria, Ghana, Senegal, not allowed to come to the United States. We're seeing a pattern here. Are these interesting countries that aren't allowed? Morocco, Tunisia, Colombia, Brazil, Brazilians can't. Are you telling? There's no way that you're going to tell me that you're going to stop Brazilians from coming. Like, that's insane. Brazil, Uruguay. What are we doing?
A lot of people.
This man is listing all the countries banned from the U.S. that are playing in the World Cup: Iran, Egypt, Algeria, Ghana, Senegal, Morocco, Tunisia, Colombia, and Brazil. We're hosting the World Cup in a few months, and we just banned half the team's fans. Do you understand how insane this is from an economic standpoint? The World Cup brings billions of dollars in tourism revenue, and we just told millions of potential visitors, sorry, you can't come spend money here. This is self-sabotage on a level that's actually impressive in its stupidity.
Around the world don't really want to come here to the United States anymore.
Western Europe was expected to be a stabilizing force for U.S. travel in 2025. These are experienced travelers with a long history of visiting the United States.
Okay.
Instead, Germany finished the year with arrivals down in the double digits.
Wow.
Switzerland, France, and the Netherlands followed with significant declines and no meaningful recovery.
Wow.
Tourism visas fell. Total arrivals stayed below prior year levels. And unlike short-term disruptions, the pullback held as the year neared its end.
Wow.
What separated Western Europe from other regions wasn't affordability. It was confidence. Throughout 2025, stories about heightened border scrutiny, secondary inspections, and traveler detentions circulated widely in European media.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, that was kind of something I was getting at earlier. People not wanting to travel here because it's annoying. It might not even feel safe. And it feels like you're under all this extra scrutiny. I've read a little bit about some new policies that the U.S. is implementing so that people can't visit the U.S. for as long. Like, you can't make this up.
Donald Trump woke up this morning and said...
He's reading this report about Western European tourism just collapsing, Germany down double digits, Switzerland, France, Netherlands all declining significantly. And he makes the key point, it's not about affordability, it's about confidence. People don't want to visit a country where they might get detained for having the wrong opinion on their phone. The border scrutiny stories are circulating widely in European media. America used to be the destination that everyone wanted to visit. Now we're becoming a place people actively avoid, and that has real economic consequences.
You know what? I'm sick of this shit! Foreigners were coming into our country and overstaying their visas, and that's wrong number one. On top of overstaying your visas, you're gonna commit terrorist acts upon Americans? Obviously, every person with a visa didn't commit some crazy terrorist act. However, some of them did. And that's enough. Donald Trump said this is a privilege to pull up to America and work, study, whatever, and he's entirely right, it is. You didn't leave your butt-fuck country to come to America for no reason. If you're from any of these countries over here, blame your fellow citizens for pulling up to America and fucking it up for all of y'all. Now, Donald Trump did this before in his first term back in 2017. Everybody called it the Muslim ban. The difference is, it's not no little 90-day little bullshit. This gonna last till Donald Trump say so. We all know Donald Trump closed the border up in like the first 2 fucking weeks. It does not stop at the border. Use your pink meat up here real quick. If illegals can't pull up to America illegally anymore, what's the next best thing? If someone wanted to pull up to America and cause chaos and they can't just hop over the border anymore, the next best thing would be to get a damn work visa. But you're not outsmarting the President of the United States. What the hell you think this is? Ow! I'm sorry, you know what happens when that patriotism builds up? Donald Trump is keeping Americans, us, you nigga, safe! Egypt, don't think just because you ain't on...
This guy is really out here celebrating visa bans like it's a sports victory, talking about patriotism building up and Trump keeping Americans safe, bro. Do you understand what isolation does to a country? Economically, we need international talent. We need international tourism. We need trade. The countries that isolate themselves don't become stronger. They become weaker. North Korea is isolated. How's that working out for them? This isn't patriotism, it's nationalism, and there's a massive difference between the two.
On that list, you ain't gonna be on that list. That recent terrorist attack was one of y'all niggas. Best thing to hope for is a partial ban instead of a full one. Keep it up, Donald Trump!
The 9 countries that hate American tourists. Number 9 is France. We all know the French stick their nose up at us. They stick their nose up at everything. Come on, they're French. Number 8, Portugal. I didn't know this about Portugal. I thought they liked us there. And there's definitely a lot of people here moving there, so they're probably not happy about that. Number 7, Denmark. Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark, is not a fan. Number 6, Norway. Number 5 is Spain. Number 4, we got the Netherlands. Now, a lot of these places are just lovely places, and they're probably like, you know what, keep your American violent BS in your country, and we want our country to be nice, all right? This is why we pay 50% in taxes. Number 3, we got Germany. I thought the Germans liked it. I don't know if I believe that. Number 2 is Canada. I definitely believe that. They're done with us. If you like this list and want more about other nonsense, follow me. Leave me a comment with your thoughts on these countries hating American tourists. Also follow my wife, Samantha, who I've tagged.
9 countries that hate American tourists, and honestly, can you blame them? France, Portugal, Denmark, Norway, Spain, Netherlands, Germany, Canada, Japan. These are some of the nicest, most developed countries on Earth. And they're all tired of Americans showing up with entitled attitudes. He even said it himself. These places pay 50% in taxes to keep their countries nice, and then Americans roll up acting like the world owes them something. Maybe the problem isn't that everyone else is jealous. Maybe we're the problem.
Check out our YouTube channel, Sam and Jacob Show, and book me on Cameo if you want a personal message. Number 1 is Japan.
Green card holders with the travel ban. Let me tell you what you need to know. So, we have here green card holders, and we have conditional green card holders. The travel ban treats them very differently. If you're a permanent resident or green card holder, you are not subject to the travel ban, but conditional green card holders are subject to the travel ban. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're from Haiti and you got a green card through marriage. Your green card is good for only 2 years, and then you need to go through the process of getting a permanent 10-year green card. So you are a conditional green card holder. If you have a 2-year conditional green card and you're from Haiti and you leave the United States, according to the travel ban, you would not be permitted to come back in the United States. On the other hand, if you're Haitian and you have a 10-year green card, the travel ban wouldn't apply to you.
This is absolutely terrifying if you have a conditional green card. He's explaining that if you're from Haiti with a 2-year conditional green card and you leave, you might not be able to come back into the country you legally live in. These are people who did everything right, got married, got their paperwork, followed the rules, and now they're essentially trapped because of where they were born. This isn't about illegal immigration. This is punishing legal immigrants. The cruelty is the point, and MAGA supporters are cheering for it.
Got it? Hey, U.S. Consulate in Nairobi, guess what? We're suing you in federal court. Here's what's going on. Our client, Sadia, is a U.S. citizen. She's from Somalia. Her daughters had an interview at your consulate in 2019. You probably...
Because I'm a dual citizen. I had no problem getting into Paris, no problem getting into Spain because of my German passport. Then going from Spain to Paris, also no issue. From Paris to LA, they didn't let me on the flight because of my expired American passport. I have my birth certificate with me. I got my American ID with me. I got my expired American passport with me. But they're like, nah, you can't get on. You need an ESTA or a visa. But from what I know, actually American citizens can't get an American visa because I'm a citizen. So now we're in Paris for another day or so. So let's figure this out. The journey continues.
Oh no, American tourists do not need to be cautious when they're coming to Ireland. Fascist, MAGA,
Fact.
Trump supporters need to be cautious because you're not welcome when you come to Ireland. So save your tears for someone else.
I didn't vote for him. It's not my fault. Am I American?
I mean, first off, if you're voting for a clown show of a president that's starting wars and doing all this bullshit, it's like you're milking the hate. Like that's like you farming hate for yourself. Okay?
Exactly.
Zero illegal migrants. Like zero means zero. We do not let anyone in. It's just a fact. So what you can do as a Europeans, you have to push your politicians and say, be like Poland. Zero means zero.
What do you think of the fact that many other European countries call you a racist or a fascist?
I don't give a single fuck. I don't give a shit. They can call me a pink elephant. That's what I said on Carty Newman in 2018. That was 2019 when I gave this interview, when I said zero. And everyone was like, how can you say that? Yes, I can say that. I don't give a shit. What you have to take...
This Polish politician saying he doesn't give a single fuck what other countries think. Zero illegal migrants. Take care of your own family, your own country, your own safety. And look, I understand the appeal of that message. It sounds strong and protective. But here's what this kind of thinking ignores completely. We live in a globally connected world. Isolationism doesn't work anymore. The countries that thrive are the ones that cooperate and trade and build alliances. You can be tough on immigration without being cruel and without burning every bridge you have.
Take care of is your own family, your own country, your own safety. That's what it is.
Protect it, guys.